The belly of the C-47 vibrated with a low, ominous thrum, the air thick with the smell of sweat, fear, and engine oil. It was the early morning hours of June 6, 1944, and 20-year-old Private Robert Hillman of Connecticut, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs, ran a final, meticulous check of his gear. This was it. D-Day. The jump. The day of days. Robert and the rest of the 101st Airborne were en route to their final destination, Normandy, France, and the beginning of the liberation of continental Europe from the grips of Nazi tyranny. As he adjusted the straps of his parachute, a flicker of recognition caught Hillman's eye. A small, almost imperceptible detail amidst the canvas and straps. A slow chuckle began to build in his chest, a bubble of disbelief rising in his throat. There, stamped discreetly near the harness, were the familiar initials, E.H. A knowing smile, laced with both relief and stunned disbelief, spread across his face. The Pioneer Parachute Company, just miles from his home in Manchester, Connecticut. It was an impossible coincidence, a whisper from home in the face of unimaginable danger. A good omen, he thought, a lifeline in the chaos to come. Then the chuckle erupted into a full-blown guffaw, a burst of nervous energy that shattered the tense silence of the plane. Heads snapped in his direction, the stoic faces of the other paratroopers turning towards him, their eyes filled with a mixture of annoyance and apprehension. "What gives?" an agitated voice barked, the tension in the confined space amplified by Hillman's outburst. Still reeling from the sheer improbability of it all, Hillman could only shake his head and respond, his voice incredulous. "I know my chute will work." "How do you know that?" a second skeptical voice demanded, the question hanging heavy in the air. Hillman, his eyes wide with a mix of awe and disbelief, simply stated, "Because my mother works for the Pioneer Parachute Company, and her initials are on my chute." A stunned silence descended on the plane. The other paratroopers exchanged bewildered glances. In the face of impending battle, a connection to home, a mother's touch, had appeared in the most unexpected way. It was a moment of surreal coincidence on one of the most remarkable days in American history. Hillman's parachute did work. His mission was a success, and he returned home from the war, carrying with him not just the memories of battle, but the extraordinary tale of a mother's love and a twist of fate on D-Day. When he returned home to Manchester, Robert presented his mother Estelle with the remnants of his chute bearing her initials and told her, "In that moment, looking at those initials, I knew I wasn't alone. It was like you were right there with me."